Hey everybody, it's Bruno on NB, where it all can't be serious. One of these days I'm going to get my tagline right, Tim. But anyways, I'm here with Tim Thomson from Cybertrends, backed by popular demand.
Thank you.
Cybersecurity threats and everything, that's all over the place right now. And thought we'd have you come back because there was a topic we were thinking about talking about, and it came to a light, I guess, during our last episode. Is that we called this one cyber, cyber threat executive.
Right.
And as an executive, they have to be totally aware of what's going on. This is big time, right?
That is correct. Yeah, you should. What we're seeing now, and what the company should strive for, is either have a designated lead on cybersecurity at the C-suite level or on a board, right? So that there's some accountability from the company's perspective. Now, that individual doesn't have to be technical, but they just have to be part of that overall security strategy and initiative from the business.
So let's start right there. Like you just said that really quick and kind of, undertoned, but they don't have to be technical, right? So again, we got to know each other through your program and everything like that. The 3-day program. Do you have a name for it? It's
Cybersecurity Corporate Preparedness.
Yeah. So somebody like me, who I'm not, an IT security expert, right? I've never stolen anything, ever in my life.
Good for you.
He said way too long with a pause, but at the same time, I know a little bit about it, but the experts will come in. That point there is very important. Is that if you sit on the board of directors,
right?
You're a finance person, you're a VP of finance, you're a CEO, you're the engineering manager, right? Why not take the course and sit on the board?
Yeah, well, the goal of the course is not to teach the individuals how to hack and do different technical things. It's to teach the corporation where they're deficient within the realm of cybersecurity. Like, we take you through 3 days. There's a holistic approach of, what's the threat of the landscape? What is ransomware? What happens if we get hit? What is an incident response plan? Do we test it? How are we going to communicate in the event of? And it just takes you through, at a very high level, all of the things that need to be considered from a cybersecurity program. And so you don't have to be technical. We see directors of IT, I've seen CFOs, I've seen business owners all interested in taking it. So it's a good overall strategy to help define what you need to do to go forward.
And that's why we named this, cyber threat executive, right? It's not we're threatening the cyber executives, but if you're at the board level, you really need to understand this. And I don't believe that hearing it secondhand from, no offense to your lead IT person at your company, is sufficient enough.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I agree. And so what we're seeing now, I actually was sitting in on, we did a 3-hour session with a lawyer group here in Calgary, and there's actually some liability risks that can be associated with board members or people that are on the board that don't follow through on the cybersecurity initiatives that they're pushing forward. So it becomes the accountability of the organization, right? So again, either at the board level or the executive level, somebody has to lead that and make sure that whatever they're doing from a security perspective is implemented and running the way it should. And when we talk about things like securing data and securing things, we got to understand what are your assets and what are you trying to protect, right? So the board members are going to understand, or the C-suites are going to understand the business all the way through, like the financial impact, the marketing, the manufacturing, whatever it is that you do, right? So that it'll have a better idea of what we're trying to protect, and then we can build out a business plan to go through that process.
So the first thing for an executive to be cyber threat ready, right? And more than ready, like now you're good to go. Because you can get that Canada Secure,
Cybersecure Canada.
Cybersecure Canada. You get your certificate there, right? And all of a sudden you do that, and you sit on the board of that company. You also know what it actually means.
Yeah.
And you know what? We all dabbled IT. I get it. You're an executive and you've run big budgets and everything, but at the granular level, I would bet dollar to donuts they don't really know, and they're relying on second
Yeah, I mean,
set information.
so a lot of the boards and the executives will just ask for a report from your manager or director of IT, and chances are they're doing a good job. But again, at the end of the day, it's important for you, for organizations to put forward the checks and balances to understand, what tools and techniques and processes we're implementing. But it's also good to have a third set of eyes come in from a third party. And then I'm a big believer in education, right? There's so many, cybersecurity is such a big word, and a lot of people just don't know where to start. I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. And so the training piece that I put together for 3 days is specifically to do that, is to help that organization figure out where to begin and where they need to go, and then we help them get there.
So since the last time we were talking about the job training grant,
Right.
okay? I did a little digging, and I, got to know something is that right now, depending on the province that you live in, okay, so this is airing 2021 here. So they're allowing some owners of small companies under 4 or 5 or something like that. So look into it, and they'll pick up, say, 66% of the course.
That's right.
So if it's a $3,000 course,
Yeah.
you end up paying like $600.
That's right. Right.
Like that is absolutely, like you're going to save that in your first year premium.
That's right.
Just by checking off the box after you become certified. So
Yeah.
I'm not shamelessly promoting it, but you start thinking about it, $600 is a dinner.
Well, yeah, it is. And the government, each province has put this initiative forward. It helps educate people. It helps secure networks. It helps everything around the corporation, right? So if you have the ability to access that money to train and educate and better understand your security needs, then it's a win-win for everyone.
And you know what else I was thinking is that this thing's always going, Tim, right? Like the hamster never takes a break, but if you're part of if you're part of a certain professional designation group, like the CPAs or CPHR, if you guys are watching, and you need what I call Club Z points,
Right.
to get recertified.
Yeah.
I bet you that some of these would take this as an education piece. It's a 3-day thing,
Yeah.
and it's peanuts. And I hate to say this, but no offense, but it's peanuts.
Yeah.
If you get the job grant for your people.
Well, and that was the initiative, right? Is to give it the ability for, companies that are large and small, public and private, that may or may not have the training budget in place, or they've never realized they have access to 66% return up to $15,000 of training every year, right?
And that's if they're brand new. I think if they're employed, it's 10. Well, it depends on the province, anyways. But
and so it's there for, and it doesn't have to be cybersecurity. It's all the training. So the job grant is an important piece of the puzzle for continuing education and helping people out.
I guess the point I am making, and I'm being really serious, is there's really no excuse to not be educated on this. And that is by far now the biggest threat to your company.
100%, right? And again, you don't need to know how to hack to be cybersecure ready or to take some additional steps and initiatives. You need to understand what we're trying to protect, and then we need to build a plan around that to do that. And the only way you're going to do that is to educate yourself on what's available out there to use, right? One of the big things that's on every insurance premium now is multi-factor authentication. It is a checkbox that is required, whether you're using an MSP or you're not, but it's one of those requirements, right? And so a lot of people go, I don't know how to set that up, or I don't know how to install it. Well, we take you through that and through the course, and we identify various vendors that you could potentially use. And then obviously if someone needs help, I'd be happy to help them out.
And the number 2 thing, so first of all, take the course. Number 2 for an executive, what should they do for their company they're representing?
They should get the cybersecure certificate, right? Again, it's having those 18 controls checked off, making sure that you guys are doing the right things. Some organizations will require more, or some might require less, but at the end of the day, you're taking that proactive step forward and get certified, and then that gives you the ability to share that information or that certificate within the business community, so that I know that I can trust that company is taking care of my information, right? So
and everybody out there, I can't believe I'm this serious for this long on these shows. Usually we mess around, but this is really serious. And I'm going to throw this out. You correct me if I'm wrong. Make 100% sure that the person, third party like your company, that comes in and does this checkbox for the certificate for Canada, the Canadian certificate, that they have errors and omissions.
That's right.
Because some people say, well, you know what, I'm a cybersecurity expert. I'm a subcontractor of a subcontractor incorporated. You find out they're really not.
That's right.
And they carry general liability.
Yep.
Now, if things go sideways, your company's MSP could actually sue you.
That's right.
And if you're not properly backed up, forget about certifications.
That's right.
You're hooped. Let's spend 2 seconds on that.
Yeah, you just ultimately what we're seeing now in the industry is when you're doing an RFP or you're putting proposals or you're looking for service contracts, you want to make sure that the people you're doing business with are also proactively taking those steps for cybersecurity, right? And you have to have that trust that if I give you my bank account information or I give you my personal information, that you guys are doing what you're supposed to do, or you're saying you're doing what you're saying you're doing, right? And then that way we build a greater trust within the community, as well as we start to get more and more businesses up to speed on cybersecurity, which then hopefully brings down that risk.
Okay, so we were talking about errors and omissions. So I'm a small company. I don't know. My sales are $20 to $50 million or something like that, right? Or even lower than that, 5 million or 2 million. And now I want to bring in a third party to do my the certificate, right? Canada Cyber Secure Canada. Thank you. Certificate. I'm looking at providers, kind of like your company and XYZ. What is the minimum errors and omissions that I should be looking at when I'm choosing my provider? Because it could be a standalone person that comes and does it, right?
Yeah, I mean, we carry 5 million. It's just that's just a good number, right? But the company's data could be worth more than that. They could have a bigger downtime. They could have legal fees, those sorts of things, right? But 5 million is pretty standard these days.
So anything under that, you should ask some questions.
Yeah, you should ask some questions and make sure that they have, whether it's 2 million or 1 million, depending on what they're doing and who they are. And, if it's an individual contractor, they may not have any.
Right.
As opposed to a valued business.
And that's kind of my point I was trying to not lead you into, but a lot of companies come over and say, I'm fully insured. Yeah. No offense to the mob hoss or the one person show, is that they might be referring to general liability.
Right.
But in your business, you're doing this assessment that you can end up losing all the data, not you, but the company could be losing all the data. They have insurance, it's called, I understand there's vicarious liability and reciprocal and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, they're gonna say, okay, that company that came and did that, didn't identify it, errors and omissions, your processes weren't correct, right? We're suing you. And then you find out they have no errors and omissions. Forget about the company. The provider's in a lot of trouble too. So if you're a provider listening and snooping up here, you better get your errors and omissions, because that'll really put you in a pickle.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we're talking about. Let's talk about the show.
Okay. Risky business.
Risky business, your show. You can put the sunglasses on, slide down.
I don't know if we'll do that.
I'm going to confess something. Are you ready?
Sure.
I've never seen that movie.
No?
No. So I'm going to watch your show before I watch Tom Cruise's movie.
It's a little different than my show.
Is it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're putting together a 6-part series on cybersecurity, and we're going to focus at the business community level with topics around insurance and topics around policing and forensics and what happens if you get breached, and different tools and the threat of the landscape that it's at today. I've got a threat intelligence expert, world-renowned expert, that'll be doing our first show, and it's going to be really good. It's just, again, it's kind of similar to what my course is going to do, and it's going to hopefully open up some of the business eyes and say, hey, you know what, maybe we should look a little deeper into this, or maybe we should understand how our incident response plan works, or what we're doing. So
you're super busy, you're going all over the place, helping people. Need to get in touch with you. Can they actually talk to you, or are they talking to?
No, they can talk to me. Yeah. They go to my website, and there's an information
website
tab.
Is
cybertrends.ca.
It's down here anyways, but
so cybertrends.ca, you can go. There's a course outline, there's services. You can request some information, or you want to give me a call at 403-651-2560. That'd be great.
All right. Well, we have one more going on, at least one more. Yeah. So I'm here with Tim Thomson, Cyber Trends. We'll be back next time, and we're going to keep having fun. The next one, I can surprise you on a few things.
Perfect.
All right. Okay, we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, if you want someone you know to be our next guest, simple. Click below in the description, and we'll get in touch with them. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe, and you'll never, ever miss another episode.